So he will give us talk about varicocele treatment in a nutshell. Please, Dr. Mostafa.
Thank you, Dr. Khalid. First of all, this is a First of all, this is a 10-minute talk, so I'm going to make it very technical. There is not going to be a lot of science in it. It's going to be very technical. Varicose veins, it may seem as a very simple procedure. Varicocele embolization, it may seem as a very simple procedure, but it requires a lot of training and a learning curve. So if you are starting this procedure and you experience some failures at the beginning, you shouldn't be frustrated. This is completely normal. For me, I prefer a internal jugular vein access because if you think about it, there is a line between the internal jugular vein and the gonadal vein. It's a straight highway. But if you go through the femoral vein, you will have to do like an arch. But femoral vein is the second option, and I will state why. After accessing the internal jugular vein and reaching the IVC, your goal now is to access the renal vein. And this is not very easy because our catheters, like the Bernstein catheter, it is a little bit straight, and anatomy is always tortuous and curvy. So it's a very good idea to use another curve like a multi-purpose catheter, or you can give a little curve to your Bernstein catheter. And always keep in mind, if you search for the renal vein and you cannot find the renal vein, there are variants for the renal vein, and they are not rare. If you look at variant number 4, for example, this variant number 4 is called a double IVC. I always imagined the double IVC would be like two big veins beside each other, but that's not the reality. Let me show you a case I encountered. I kept on searching for the renal vein time and time, and I cannot find it. So I went to the iliac veins, then I saw this. Then I accessed the left iliac vein, and I went up. It was a double IVC. So look, there is a clue that there is an IVC here. And you would never have guessed if you did not know that there are variants. So always keep in mind the variants, because the eyes cannot see what the mind does not know. Then we went to the renal vein and we finished our procedure. Okay, after accomplishing the first mission, which is accessing the renal vein, now you have to access the gonadal vein. And this could be very, very easy, like in this case. I did not even need a wire to access it. Or it could be very, very tricky because the valve at the beginning of the gonadal vein, it may be a good valve, and the rest of the valves in the gonadal veins are the diseased valves. So you have to ask the patient to bear down, do a Valsalva, and maybe take deep breath, because when you take a deep breath, the normal valve opens to accentuate a venous return. And there are lots of variant anatomy for the gonadal veins, but I think they have something in common. At the very lower end, they are usually one or two veins, or maybe one vein. So no matter how much variant anatomy you see up near the kidneys, when you go down, it is nearly one vein. And this strengthens the point that during embolization, you have to close the vein downwards. I always do my embolization with lipidol NBCA, and from the cast you can see this variant anatomy. But your goal is to go down to the site of the inguinal ligament and start your embolization down. And I told you I do it with liquid, and this is not very easy at the beginning, but it's not difficult because you are embolizing against the flow. But if you imagine you are embolizing like this boy is doing, he's making a giant balloon with the soap. You inject slowly and retrieve very slowly your catheter. You can create a beautiful cast of your glue, like I'm doing here. And the venous system is very, very beautiful. It's very stagnant, has a low blood pressure, low blood flow, so you shouldn't be worrying about it flying everywhere. Thank you very much. I hope this was useful for you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Mostafa Farid, for this technical presentation. We will take one or two questions before letting the stage for the second session. Do you have any question?
Actually, I have one question.
Yeah.
I have one question to Najwa. You have told us that you must do a thorough examination of the lower limb in patients suffering from varicose vein. Yeah. So you told us that you do a good examination for the patient having varicose veins, but while you are examining, if you suspect the patient having not esophagus varicosis, but varicosis coming from a pelvic origin, so do you extend your examination to examine the patient for pelvic venous insufficiency, pelvic congestion, or you stick only to the lower limb? In routine, yeah.
In routine, this is a good question because we have first to check if the sources of reflux is pelvic or not. Yes. If we have a pelvic source with the definition that we saw, then we can do the pelvic exam. But in routine, we don't do it systematically. No, not systematically, because it's very chronophage. You know, it takes a lot of time. I don't know how many what time you do. It's 13 minutes. It's very exactly, and it depends of patients. So it can take even 45 minutes. So it depends of patient. It depends of sources. Yeah. Exactly. But I invite you to come in the workshop because we gonna see all this technique with all details with Dr. Khalid Qafas and Dr. Wasima Ali. I think we are late, so we can.
برضو احنا بندعوكم عاملين ورك شوب النهارده على الفاريكوز فين تريتمنتس. طبعا معنا اكسبرتس دكتوره نجوى ودكتوره وسيمه، هنتكلم فيه على كل حاجه، وجايبين طبعا اجهزه، وهنتعلم ازاي نعمل ثيروثيرابي وهنتعمل اكزامينيشن. فانا بنفايت، هيبقى فيري نايس ورك شوب لو الناس تحب انترستد يعني. سو yeah. خلاص, we thank you very much for this attending this our session. So now we proceed to the next session.